So you want a new set of tyres for your 4x4, but you can't decide which ones are best. Well, here at 4x4 Australia, we are here to help with the latest of our tyre tests. We have got a whole bunch of round black things here. 7 different sets of aftermarket all-terrains, ranging from your quite on-road biased ones to full-on off-roaders. For this test, we'll be doing everything you expect of a tyre. Obviously, on-road running on the limit. Some wet weather driving, we'll even go off-roading.
Our field includes the Dunlop Grand Trek, Goodyear Wrangler All-Terrain Adventure, Falcon Wild Peak, Nexen Rodian, Maxxis 700 Bravo, Hankook Dynapro, and rounding it out, the Bridgestone Jeweller, the only one of our 7 in a light truck construction.
We'll be finding the best tyre, not only to go off the beaten track, but also getting there in the first place.
In crunching all the data to work out which tyre stands tall, we'll also be taking into account the price of each tyre. It's a monumental job and one that involves precise calculations and driving. Our drivers for this test include race driver and instructor Paul Stokel and 4x4 Australia's Justin Walker.
Be interesting to see how they go.
Our first tests are fairly straightforward. Wet braking from 70 kilometres an hour and dry braking from 100 kilometres an hour. We'll let the ABS do the work and take accurate measurements as to how long it took for each tyre to stop. While Maxxis, Bridgestone and Falcon all performed well, it was the Dunlop Grand Treks that performed best, consistently stopping more confidently than the rest.
Well, I guess what impressed me most was the straight line stopping ability. In the wet it was noticeably better than some of the other tyres we'd tried. Same in the dry, it was equal probably to the best that we've experienced in straight line stopping in the dry as well.
Next up was cornering, something conducted over 2 wet and 2 dry corners. We're looking for the tyres that took the least time to scrabble through the bends. It was the Maxxis performing beautifully in both wet and dry.
As far as cornering is concerned, in lateral grip in basically wet weather cornering, it felt quite good. And the dry was sort of the same characteristics. It was nice and consistent, and then towards the end it tended to unweight the rear a little bit.
On-road is one thing, off-road is a completely different discipline. Under the guidance of Justin Walker, each tyre tackled a dedicated 4x4 track. Gravel, mud and rocks were all part of the punishment. The challenge with testing tyres off-road is the variability of the surface. Every time you drive over it, it changes subtly. So instead of hard data, we're relying on Justin's comments. If a tyre performs well, we're rewarded a 5% bonus on its subtotal. If it performs below average, we'll deduct 5%.
Yeah, tyre 2 was really good. It had plenty of traction on the dirt track and through the mud as well, but it's a lot more compliant, or seemed to be more compliant, and a softer ride, more comfortable. And on the rocky surfaces, that tyre would just keep on gripping and away you'll go, so it was really impressive.
It's perhaps no surprise that the tyres with more aggressive tread patterns lived up to their promise. They included the Falcon, Goodyear, Bridgestone, Maxxis and Hankook. Next, it was crunching the numbers, including prices. That's important given the spread from the cheapest, just $209, to the most expensive at $339.
So after torturing these tyres over the entire day, there are some quite big differences between the lot of them, but there can only be one winner.
And that winner is the Maxxis Bravo 700. They performed impressively across all disciplines and are also surprisingly affordable. Maxxis finished ahead of Falcon, Bridgestone and Hankook, each excellent all-road tyres with solid off-road ability. Now, if this test was about on-road performance, the Dunlop Grand Treks would have finished much higher. But once off-road ability and pricing was brought into the equation, they were bumped down the order. Rounding out the field were the Nexens and Goodyears, each struggling with grip in various situations.